Somewhere around here. Don't really look like the looks of this place. Shh, don't speak in Japanese. Yeah. The place indicated by Lee's memo was deep inside Chinatown. It was far from the main streets where many Japanese people walked. And though it was Japan, it was fully a little China, a foreign country. Though Chinatown was famous for being filled with people and things and hustle and bustle, this place was completely silent. The bustle of the main streets sounded far away, and that strange feeling made it clear that this wasn't a place to walk around casually. This was a town where poor Chinese people gathered, people who had immigrated to Japan believing something would change for them, though nothing did. Because the three had grown up in the alleyways, a feeling of tension enveloped them. They know what that unpleasant feeling meant. It's like whatever happens to you here, it's your own fault, huh? Shh, they're here. Let's be friendly. We're standing right inside their stomachs after all. Three young, mean-looking Chinese men were blocking a path in front of them, grinning. Unsurprisingly, they didn't look like they were planning to let their prey escape. By now, two more of them were standing behind Oliver and the others, blocking their retreat. They knew these two had been following behind them for a while. Okay, so this is a perfect spot for an attack. Interesting. Looks like you don't need words to tell someone to give up their money. If they don't want to get hurt. We ain't here to fight. We got Lee's letter. I cannot speak Japanese or Chinese. What are you standing around here for? Show him the letter already. I don't have it. Oliver told me to give it to him. I don't have it. You're the one who has it. You just put it in your inside pocket, didn't you? I did, but then you pulled it out. You said I'd drop it for sure. Ah, damn it! Come on, no getting around it. Oh god. It's been so long. It's been so long. Oh. Thank you. Can we just please not lose? Thank you. Okay, that's enough. Let's back off. What? If the place had been more open, they might have been able to run away somehow. However, that it wouldn't work in the narrow alleys. Having heard the fight, several grim-faced looking men appeared and surrounded them. This wasn't a fight between kids anymore. They were clearly being surrounded by people in that line of business. An older man who seemed to be their boss stepped forward. Get the letter out quick. The heck are you two doing? It's Oliver, not me. He had it last. You grabbed it from me. You have the letter. You always put blame on me, don't you? You did that with the Nikuman too, right? Oh, you blockhead. Ah. Oh wait, I had the letter. Here it is. That's right, Nina grabbed it last. Anyway, show it to them quickly. Nina spread out Lee's memo and held it out to them. They took it suspiciously and glanced through it. And ripped it up. They looked between the memo and the three faces. They didn't seem satisfied, but it appeared that they couldn't complain when Lee's name was brought into the equation. As the older man said this, he spun around, signaling with his hand that they should follow him. As he did, the men gathered in the road opened path. Guess he wants us to follow him. Thanks to Nina, we almost got the crap beaten out of us. You owe me Nikuman later. Sure, assuming we get out of here alive. It wasn't as though they were being trusted, and the circle already had been, around them had broken. If anything, it was as though the men had been told to treat this prey with care, since it was in Lee's, but that they must not let it escape. They are forced to walk round and round through a maze-like set of alleys. Eventually, they were led into a strange place that may have been an alley with a roof, or they may have been led into the corridor of a building at some point. The dimness and lonely light bulbs made it unclear whether this was above or below ground. Phew, is that Chinese knife? It's huge. I seriously doubt this is a kitchen. Rather not think about why they'd have been so creepy. They'd have so many creepy blades hanging in a place like this. You scared? If you let them overwhelm you, it's all over. It's all over. I've heard Chinese torture is pretty awful. They rip your skin off while you're still alive and soak you in salt and soy sauce, right? Oh God. If we weren't talking about humans, that'd almost get my stomach rumbling. Shh, look, it's the GDS. The people who'd guided them was talking with someone who was clearly a member of the GDS. He then pointed this way, making a gesture as though handing the three over. The man from the GDS said something, but not as though he was talking down to children. This treatment was much better than what they'd received so far. Apparently, they'd received contact from Lee about having guests. The man crouched down and opened a trap door. They could see a ladder inside it. The man motioned for them to go down. This was clearly suspicious. It was like he was telling them to go into a dungeon. When they hesitated, the man urged them to go down quickly. What we do? We freak out, we lose. Let's go. Don't got a clue what they're saying. If we could only understand the words. I'm definitely saying Chinese, assuming we come out back alive. After writing himself, Oliver went down the ladder. I mean, we're gonna see your dad. Charles and Nina followed. At the bottom, there was a cramped underground storehouse, packed with pots and wooden boxes and the like. It was apparently a semi-basement, since a small lattice hole let the sunlight in and air from outside. However, that didn't change the fact that it was almost pitch black inside. Before their eyes adjusted, the three of them hesitated, unsure what to do. When they looked at the Chinese man, said something and started to close the trap door. Okay. Damn it, they're tricking us after all. They're planning to lock us in here. No. He said to wait here until the boss comes. They heard a voice from the depths of the darkness. The three were shocked for a moment, but they quickly realized that it was Zell. Oh, okay. The shadow slowly rose to its feet amidst the darkness. Hey, babe. When the faint angled rays of sunlight hit Zell's face, the three of them dashed towards her. Zell! Did they get you too? Anyway, this might not be the best place, but I'm so glad you're safe. Why are you here? We wanted to apologize to you, Zell. Lee told us about this place. Zell, I'm sorry I didn't trust you at all. Never knew you had such a tragic past. My past? Lee told us about it, about you and your father. He told us your father was held hostage and that they made you do terrible things. We were horrible, and we even after we called you our comrade all the time. We couldn't trust you during the time we needed to the most. We're awful. It's not true. If anyone's awful, it's me. For deceiving you all. You weren't deceiving us. You just didn't remember anything. We know how tough it was for you once your memory came back. The life of one of your parents was on the line. Even I would surely have chosen my parents too, in that position. We don't have parents. That's why we know how important parents are. You didn't do anything wrong. Nothing at all. I was the one who were wrong. We were. Anyway, we could never have forgiven ourselves without apologizing to you for that first. Everyone. She thought everyone would hate her. When instead they suddenly showered her with apologies, she was completely taken aback and her mind went blank. Give her a hug! The three of them started apologizing, as though fighting to be the most apologetic, pressing their faces to the ground. I'd give her a hug. You don't need to do that. Anyway, the floor is covered in dust. As their eyes adjusted to the darkness, they looked at each other's faces. Their foreheads, cheeks, and tips of their noses were covered with dust, making them look sort of like clowns. You look ridiculous. Ridiculous. By this point, Zell's face was also stained black with tear marks. I couldn't ask you to forgive us after all this time. Call us your comrades again. We'll never, never doubt you again. I won't eat Nukumon until you forgive us. I guess Charles will die from hunger if I don't forgive you. Zell started laughing, tears streaming down her face. Hug. Then all at once, the four hugged each other, bringing their heads together. They just laughed and cried and rubbed their faces together. When they'd finished they looked at each other's sooty faces and broke out laughing again. What are you doing in a place like this, Zell? I want to say father, but I don't know what to do. When I was wandering around State 22 looking for some sort of clue, somebody suddenly captured me. Why are you all here? That's thanks to Lee. Lee. Zell seemed to know the name, but not much else. He's the leader of City 23's Chinatown. He and the Madame Rose are close. Madame Rose called us over, and then Lee told us about your past. And when he told us about this place, still there's no proof we haven't fallen for a trap and gotten captured. I'd like to believe that isn't the case. A second ago, a man upstairs spoke in Chinese, saying to wait for the boss to come. I hope that boss was Lee. Huh? Shh! Someone's coming. Not just someone, a whole bunch of people. It was getting noisy upstairs. They could tell that many footsteps and voices were getting closer. We're obviously heading towards the chopping board. Get ready. If it gets nasty, I'll take at least 2 of them down with me. Calm down. Let's sit here and wait just until the last second. They aren't going to treat us carelessly, and I can't imagine they plan to kill us. When you say that, I think my worries go away. Without you, we wouldn't have gotten anywhere. Get behind us, Zell. It still wasn't certain that the GDS was on friendly terms with them. The 3 stood in front of Zell and Oliver at the very front readied themselves. What's he saying? I don't know. He says the boss is here. He's telling us to go up. Is Lee here? I'll let you go first, Oliver, just like we always do, right? Perfect. I'll show you what the alley guts can do. Alleyway guts. As they said that, a small face poked in from above the ladder. Oh, Xiaolon. Someone you know? Yeah, she's been taking care of me. Of course, it was more than that. She'd always been observing Zell. However, Zell knew well that she wasn't a bad person. This girl truly sympathized with Zell's past, and had been the only person within the GDS whom Zell trusted. She's there. I'm sure it's okay. I'll go up first. Hey, Zell. Oliver had tried to be their advanced guard, but Zell tapped his shoulder and went up the ladder first. At the top was a crowd of grim-faced GDS men that appeared to be a high-ranking VIP. Please forgive me for cramming you into a place like this. Japanese will be fine. I love the Japanese language. Also, Hotarubi is not your real name. Hotaru Rapunzel. Which name do you prefer? Zell, then. That's what my comrades call me. Understood, Zell. This was her first time talking to Lee, but she may have seen his face somewhere before. Though she sensed an intellect not to be trifled with, she relaxed for a moment at his non-hostile behavior. Atmosphere. Then the four of them were told to go inside bags. What the fuck? According to Lee, he wanted to invite them to a place without anyone seeing, so there was no need to worry. Xiaolon also said that there was no danger, so Zell decided to believe them. The four of them obediently got into the bags, were lifted into a car or something, and were gently carried away. However, they weren't forced to stay in such a cramped space for long. As they listened to the bustle of Chinatown, they were lowered from the car and placed on the floor of some room. You can get out now. Hey everyone, she said you can get out. Huh? What's the... Smith? Huh? What? Did we die and not notice it? A straight shot from hell to heaven? Whoa! There's Nikamon and Chinese tea snacks. Can I eat it? Try suspecting poison at least a little. What's going on here? We couldn't help ourselves to all this without knowing the reason. The gesture Xiaolon suggests that they have a seat. However, Zell apparently couldn't hide her confusion at the sudden change of treatment. This is to make up for locking you in that cramped place. Nothing is poisoned. Please try some. Chinese cooking is far more delicious when it's hot. Zell didn't understand what was going on. Oh, you know, if the guy tells me it's not poisoned, it can't be poisoned. She had thought she'd been captured because she failed in her assassination. However, if they'd planned on killing her to silence her, they should have had many chances before now. So what was with this sudden change in treatment? She couldn't eat while she was this lost. Deciding to wait for Zell to let her guard down, first Charles and the others held back their hunger and peered into Lee's face. Lee's eyes narrowed and he smiled as though acknowledging that they weren't as kid-like as they looked. When his eyes opened again, a faint but definitely present coolness has returned to them. So, my main reason for keeping you confined was that I didn't want you to die a dog's death. If I'd let you alone, then you would surely have moved forward desperately on a hopeless bet. That would have been a waste. Quite a regrettable ending for the oft-rumored legendary killer of Tokyo's Chinatown. So you want me to do one more job, is that it? Those words, the excited trio's eyes grew suspicious as well. Surely he wasn't planning to force the wandering dogs to attempt another assassination on Madame Rose. It is as you guessed. I would like to ask Hotarubi to perform one final job. What do you mean by final? You don't need to be afraid. He's an ally. An ally? What do you mean? There's a person I would like you to abduct. Abduct. It was the first time she'd received a request of that kind. It sounded much more troublesome than killing. Well, yeah, because you can't kill him. However, she didn't accept her father was dead. The person you're going to abduct is a Japanese man being imprisoned by the GDS. Saijo Yukishi. Huh? I would like you to rescue your father. Easy peasy. Wait, what's going on? I don't know. There's no time for idiots to interrupt. Lee, I don't understand the meaning of what you're saying. Just Lee would be fine. Fuck Meiju. I hate that name. All those close to me call me that. Lee, why would a member of the GDS like you request that the hostage father of a GDS pawn like me be rescued? If we did that, then I'd be then I'd be happy, but it'd be extremely embarrassing for the GDS. Indeed, but that embarrassment is what I desire. It makes sense. Why would Lee, a member of the GDS, want to see the GDS embarrassed? Because he's going, fuck this. There are quarrels even within the GDS. Jalon told them that there were factions within the GDS that Lee had enemies on the inside. Falling out between friends in the GDS. Sounds too good to be true. I'm dumb, so I don't get it. What does it mean? In other words, if they failed in assassinating Madame Rose, then had Hotorubi's father stolen away from on top of that, it would chain the GDS higher ups. Is that it? Precisely. The Council of Elders spent a very, very large sum of money to buy Hotorubi. If such a purchase ran away before they could make use of it, that would be quite a blunder. To a Chinese person, a blunder is more shameful and causes more loss of trust than anything else. Xiaolon, can this person really be trusted? He can. Don't deceive women. That's my policy. Liar, you do it sometimes. I gave you mooncakes afterwards, didn't I? I see you still hold a grudge. With that peaceful seeming exchange of words, Zell relaxed her guard a little. Jalon had the temperament of a wild cat. She was extremely wary of the people by nature. If she was letting her guard down this much, it may have been a sign that it was okay to trust this man a little. True enough, to the Chinese, especially to people at the top of an organization, blunders could be extremely damaging. The person who would announce that the outrageous plan of assassinating Madame Rose would probably suffer considerably. Zoe was offering to support Zell's rescue of her father in exchange of this. Sounds wonderful for me. But we have no guarantees of what will happen after my father is rescued. This may sound harsh, but no one can make any guarantees regarding what happened after that. Your owners guaranteed your father's safety in a short, once-per-month relationship between the two of you. You've been released from that, so no one will be able to make guarantees regarding you two again. If you trust your father, you ought to guarantee his safety yourself, right now. Well, on a personal level, I do not want to be your enemy. After all, you are a legendary assassin, feared even by me. It'd be quite troublesome if I angered you, and had some poison mixed into my tea. Lee laughed. Zell looked down for a moment, thinking. There could be no doubt that Lee was using her for his own purposes. It might be a plan or to shame someone, or it could be the opposite. It could be a dirtier plan, to send them off to rescue Zell's father, only to sell that information immediately before. He really did sympathize with you, Hotorobi. It's true that he wants you to do a job for him, but he also wants you to let you go free at the end. Xiaolon was an honest kid. Such a person said she was convinced that Lee wouldn't lie. The idea that he had skillfully tricked this honest kid and was using her as a pawn to gain my trust. That was possible. However, if she refused this offer, she couldn't conceive of any magnificent plan would result in her father's rescue. Even I have heard of the feats performed by the Wandering Dogs. Do you have any desire to lend a hand in rescuing the father of your comrade? We do. We put our lives on the line. Oliver. But we're dumb. We can't trust that going along with your plan will end in the way Zell wants. In the first place, if you're going to tell us to trust you, that's not going to happen. Still, if this was your only chance to save Zell's father, if this is your only chance, our only chance. If Zell agrees, we'll put our lives on the line. You guys. You have fun comrades. All that matter now, Zell, is whether you trust me or not. Zell can't refuse. It's a dirty deal you've got for us. Lee, I don't want to doubt someone like you, who has a close relationship with Madame Rosebud. If you're planning to use Zell then to betray her, give it up. Even if we Wandering Dogs have lost Zell, we'll definitely find you and finish you off. Don't worry, Xiaolon. They only said it out of eagerness.